This is All India Radio. In the program Insights, now we bring you a special program on International Solar Alliance, India's global leadership in solar energy.
International Solar Alliance, in collaboration with Grid Controller of India Limited and Western African Power Pool, is hosting delegates from the West African region in New Delhi, India, from the 14th to the 18th of February. 60 participants from 13 West African Power Pool countries, Benin, Burkina Faso, Cote d'Ivoire, Gambia, Ghana, Guinea, Liberia, Mali, Niger, Nigeria, Senegal, Sierra Leone, and Togo are participating in a knowledge-sharing and study tour highlighting aspects of solar energy implementation. The program participants include officials from ministries, statutory regulatory bodies, and utility companies from participating African nations. The tour includes classroom sessions and interactions in New Delhi and Bengaluru, followed by visits to Pavagada Solar Park, Southern Regional Load Dispatch Center, and Southern Regional Renewable Energy Management Center. The program agenda aims to help participants with insights into global and Indian solar energy scenarios, policies, guidelines, and regulations. Dr. Ajay Mathur, Director General, ISA, highlighted the need to encourage capacity building and disseminating best practices to increase solar deployment globally. He noted ISA is working towards making solar power a priority for nations across the world. Since its establishment, ISA has been scaling up efforts to implement its existing pipeline for solar projects, share knowledge, and build capacity across the solar value chain. In collaboration with Grid India and WAP, this program will set standards and help strengthen the solar ecosystems in all ISA member countries. Unhindered exchange of knowledge and information between countries can vastly benefit ISA member countries and the fight against climate change. India launched an International Solar Alliance at the COP21 Climate Conference in 2015 with an announcement by Prime Minister Modi that the revolution in the field would bring power to all citizens and create unlimited economic opportunity. On March 11, 2018, the Prime Minister, Shri Narendra Modi, and the President of France, Mr. Emmanuel Macron, co-hosted the founding conference of the International Solar Alliance. 48 countries, including 25 heads of states, participated in this conference. In addition, there were representatives from the United Nations, multilateral development banks, energy-related think tanks, and the corporate sector and civil society. In October same year, while addressing the first assembly of the International Solar Alliance gathering, Prime Minister Modi said that in the last 150 to 200 years, mankind has depended on fossil fuels for energy needs. Now, nature is indicating that options such as solar, wind, and water offer more sustainable energy solutions. In his call for climate action, Prime Minister Modi said,
मुझे विश्वास है कि हम ISA के जरिए इन सभी एक्शन पॉइंट्स पर गतिशील विकास कर आगे बढ़ पाएंगे। फ्रेंड्स, आज का ये पल हमारी यात्रा की शुरुआत मात्र है। हमारी यह अलायंस हमारे जीवन को सूरज के प्रकाश से और भी भर सकती है। यह लेट अस मेक द सन ब्राइटर को भी सार्थक कर सकती है। हमेशा से भारतीय दर्शन की आत्मा वसुधैव कुटुंबकम यानी द होल वर्ल्ड इज फैमिली। यदि हम पूरी पृथ्वी, पूरी मानवता की भलाई चाहते हैं तो मुझे विश्वास है कि निजी दायरों से बाहर निकलकर एक परिवार की तरह हम उद्देश्यों और प्रयासों में एकता और एकजुटता ला सकेंगे। फ्रेंड्स, यह वही रास्ता है जिससे हम प्राचीन मुनियों की प्रार्थना तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमय, यानी हम अंधकार से प्रकाश को जा चलें, को चरितार्थ कर पाएंगे.
International Solar Alliance, ISA, an alliance of 121 solar resource-rich countries lying fully or partially between the tropics of Cancer and Capricorn, ISA was jointly launched by the Prime Minister, Mr. Narendra Modi, and the then President of France, Mr. François Hollande, on November 30, 2015 in Paris, France, on the sidelines of the 21st Conference of Parties, COP21, to the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change. The ISA Framework Agreement was opened for signature on 15th of November 2016 in Marrakesh, Morocco, on the sidelines of COP22. The vision and mission of the International Solar Alliance is to provide a dedicated platform for cooperation among solar resource-rich countries that lie completely or partially between the tropics of Capricorn and Cancer. The global stakeholders, including bilateral and multilateral organizations, corporates and industry, make a positive contribution to assist and help achieve the common goals of increasing the use of solar energy in meeting energy needs of prospective ISA member countries in a safe, convenient, affordable, equitable and sustainable manner. In conformity with the ISA Framework Agreement, 30 days after ratification by the 15th country on December 6, 2017, ISA became the first full-fledged treaty-based international intergovernmental organization headquartered in India. Through this initiative, the countries inter alia share the collective ambition, 1. To address obstacles that stand in the way of rapid and massive scale-up of solar energy, to undertake innovative and concerted efforts for reducing the cost of finance and cost of technology for immediate deployment of competitive solar generation, and 3. To mobilize more than $1,000 billion of investments by 2030. The Government of India has committed rupees 175 crore for setting up of ISA and till date released a sum of rupees 145 crore for creating a corpus fund, building infrastructure and meeting day-to-day recurring expenditure. The Delhi Solar Agenda, adopted in the founding conference of the ISA, states that the ISA member states inter alia have agreed to pursue an increased share of solar energy in the final energy consumption in respective national energy mix as a means of tackling global challenges of climate change and as a cost-effective solution by supporting and implementing policy initiatives and participation of all relevant stakeholders as applicable in respective states. Till date, out of 121 prospective member countries that lie either fully or partially between the tropics of Cancer and Capricorn, 114 countries have signed the framework agreement of the ISA. The first assembly, in a way, laid the foundation for the global solar agenda. The Assembly, as supreme decision-making body of the ISA, steers the process to significantly harness solar energy for achieving universal energy access at affordable rates. The Assembly adjudicates upon various administrative, financial and program-related issues. ISA is partnering with multilateral development banks, development financial institutions, private and public sector organizations, civil society and other international institutions to deploy cost-effective and transformational solutions through solar energy, especially in the least developed countries and the small island developing states. Let's listen to the exclusive bite from Dr. Ajay Mathur, Director General, International Solar Alliance, to All India Radio on how ISA is attracting private sector investors around the globe to invest in solar.
If I can backtrack a little bit, one of the key areas is the issue that the solar investment has been very lopsided, and what does Solar Alliance do to address it? In 2021, there was a record amount of investment that went into the solar sector globally, or went into electricity sector. In the solar sector alone, it was $200 billion, but 74% of it went to the OECD countries in China. Only 5% of it went to all of Africa. And Africa is the continent where the sunlight is brightest, where the largest energy demand is occurring. This led us to talk to investors, and we talked to about 100 investors to find out what the problem was. And they said that the confidence with which they lend or invest in many of the African countries is wanting, and consequently we as the Solar Alliance decided that we needed to do something about it. We will take forward to create a risk management facility, which will comprise of a payment guarantee mechanism, which means that if the country is unable to pay, this would be the payer of last resort. This would hopefully create the confidence for the private sector investors around the world to invest in solar in those countries where the payment guarantee mechanism has been done. So this is one of the big things that we want to do. The second big thing that we want to do at this assembly, and we are taking a proposal there, is what we call as the solar exchange. This is a way to create entrepreneurs, particularly in Africa, but then in other countries as well. We will set up 10 problem statements. We will pick up 2 people from across the continent who are the best in providing responses to this, and provide them with the kind of exposure that they need to attract funding, to attract technology, to be able to source materials and to supply to the markets. Which is why we are doing this in collaboration with Invest India and with the World Association of Investment Promotion Organizations. Together we believe that the international investors coming into Africa from the one side and with local entrepreneurs being developed on the other side will create the environment for large-scale change in the part of the world where much has been lacking in the solar area.
On the question that how the International Solar Alliance boosted collaboration among member countries in terms of technology, financing, research and developmental fronts, Dr. Ajay Mathur said,
as far as the ISA is concerned, as we talk to leaders, we realize that there are, 4 key issues, but let me focus on 2 of them. One is we need to provide information, the latest information as far as technology is concerned, as far as prices are concerned, as far as investments are concerned. This is an area in the solar world where these things change almost on a daily basis. So at the assembly or the day after the assembly, we will be bringing out reports on progress in solar technology, progress in solar markets, and progress in solar investments. That provides countries with up-to-date information on what is happening in the world. The second area is capacity building. And I use this in the broadest sense of the word, because obviously we need to train people who can design and set up and operate solar projects. If you are a solar manufacturer or a developer, you will say, who will work for me? Therefore, what we are focusing on is developing and training people with certification so that they can then be hired by these companies. Similarly, we are creating policymakers. We have been surprised at the interest we found in the training program on solar technology for bankers. Across the world, we have seen bankers coming. Clearly, it is important to them. So, providing knowledge to all of these based on the knowledge of all that is happening in our member countries has been very important to us. I spoke of the payment guarantee mechanism. Again, how will it be used? Unless we have people who are trained in using it, it will be very difficult. So all of this becomes together in the creation of knowledge and in its dissemination to build up local demand for solar energy.
The hosting of West African Region Delegates Program Agenda aims to help participants with insights into global and Indian solar energy scenarios, policies, guidelines and regulations overview for renewable energy in India from a solar energy perspective. The study tour will take place in 3 batches from February and March this year.
You are listening to a special program on International Solar Alliance, India's global leadership in solar energy. This program was produced and presented by the News Services Division of All India Radio. You can listen to it on our mobile app, News on AIR. This program is also available on our YouTube channel, News on AIR Official. You may email your opinion about this program at airnsdtalks@gmail.com.